What's going on, everybody? So I wanted to jump on here and do a video and kind of compare some of the different silicone trays, kind of hopefully show some examples and what I like and don't like about the different silicone trays that I have. I have 3 different types, and they all have their pros and cons. Of course, like anything else and any other products in the industry, they all have different pricing, and so they're going to be different for everybody's budget and what's going to work best for you and what not. So this is actually from Rural King. If you don't have Rural Kings local to you, you can go on their website and you can actually order this from what I could tell. This is actually super cheap. It's $21.99 for the 3-piece kit. It comes with this one, and then the big tray. And what I do like about this one is it has the different slots for either bits, sockets, whatever, at different size bolts, and you have your different pockets here and trays. Depending on what you like and don't like. Now, what I found about this compared to the other 2 silicone trays that I'm going to show you guys is it's not as grippy as the other 2. So it does move around more. You're not going to be able to like set it on like a fender and it not slide off because it's not nearly as grippy as the other 2. But for the price, honestly, I feel like this is kind of one of them things. If you just want to get a set of silicone trays for cheap, this is going to be your best option. As you can see, I've used these quite a bit. The big tray I haven't used a ton, but these 2 little trays I have used a bunch, and they have come in handy. I have not really used the bit spots for them or these little spots here. I mean, for here, it'd probably be good for sockets, I guess, but I've just not used that. I try to keep everything in here and separate my bolts out and whatnot. So, but for the price, like I said, it's hard to beat that. All right, next is actually the original. And once Grypmat lost their patent, then you started seeing silicone trays everywhere. Now, unfortunately, I am missing one of my Grypmats. I'm not sure where the small one went. I looked around and couldn't find it, so oh well. Now, this is the original Grypmat, and of the 3, it is the most grippy, hence the name Grypmat. And if you've ever seen the Shark Tank presentation, you will see like they had it on the side of an airplane, or hanging like it was just sticky on there. Now, granted, if you got nuts and bolts up in there, they're not going to stay if it's hanging off the edge there. But I do feel like this set, the original Grypmat, is probably the best for someone that's mobile, that's working somewhere like out in the field on construction equipment or tractor equipment or whatnot, where you need something that can kind of contort and make sure it doesn't slide and move around so you don't lose everything that you sit in it. So this is probably going to be the best for that. But on the flip side, it's also going to be the most expensive of the 3 because it's $129.99 from what I saw on Amazon. So it's not the cheapest for sure, and there's tons of other companies out there making them. Now, I only have the 3. I've only used the 3 that I'm going to show in this video, so I'm not sure if there's any other companies that have something identical to this, just with a different name on it. It kind of seems, from what I can tell, is they all still have their own kind of different twist to it. So I've used these a ton as well, and I've used the small one a ton. It kind of bums me out that I can't find it, but it is what it is. So I personally think that's probably what this one's best for. It does have your measurements on here as well. I don't use those, but if you need some sort of measurement at all while you're out in the field, that's there too. So if you're doing custom work or fabrication, and I know a lot of the people that are working on like heavy equipment and stuff, and you got to custom make bolts and whatnot, you might need that more than I do for sure. So last is my Bolster setup. So I actually just got these a few weeks ago, so I haven't used them as much as the other 2. What I can tell you is this particular one here has become my all-time favorite. It's my go-to now. So I'll just tell you that right off the bat. It's kind of in between the first one, the Crimson Trace from Rural King, and the Gripster. It's not as grippy as the Gripster, but it's not as like hard and slippery as the Crimson Trace. So definitely does the job. Being that I'm a mechanic, I'm most of the time just setting them on top of the engine bay, on the left or right. So I don't really need something that's ultra grippy anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. So what I'll do is I'll use this one, put my sockets and stuff in here when I'm done using them and grabbing another socket, so that way I can quickly grab them and I don't have to put them back on the cart and walk back and forth. And then I've got my bolts and stuff around on these other ones. And then if I need more space or more organization, then I pull this one out and just kind of lay it up next to it. This one's gonna be more geared towards like your HVAC guys, your electricians, People that need to carry bits with them, I am going to use this for interior work. So anytime that I'm doing interior work, I've got a bunch of different bits on here, and I'm gonna add some more so that way I can just grab this, walk over, grab my impact, and I've got everything right here, and I don't have to walk back and forth. It's one of the biggest pains and ultra inefficient when you're walking back and forth to your box all the time. So I think that's gonna be huge for me, but obviously that's not actually what this is designed for. It's designed for other people, but I think it's gonna come in handy for me. It's also got this little pocket here with a magnet, which is nice, so that way you can throw screws or whatever you want in there. The big one here is just under 55 bucks. It's like 54.95, I think. This one is 29.45, and then this one's 17 bucks. So it's kind of in between the Grypmat, and obviously the Crimson Tray set is just gonna be ultra cheap compared to the other two. So at the end of the day, it really just depends on what you're going to need and use. I think if you're in the automotive industry, I honestly think this one and this one are gonna be the best options for you as far as price, and then as far as functionality and practical uses in the field. If you're kind of, you know, like I said, mobile, then I feel like this actually would be a good set. Now, what I wish was they had like more pockets and different spaces like the Crimson Trace one does, and had some bit holders. And I don't know if Grypmat has done that. I will try to do some research, and if they have, I'll put it in the description. But I'll have links to all this stuff in the description below. I don't have any like sort of discount codes, no affiliate links for the companies. I'll have some Amazon links on there for you. But aside from that, none of these companies paid me to say anything or anything like that. I purchased most of this stuff with my own money, and that's where I get most of my tools, is by purchasing it myself. I'll try to reach out to companies and see if they'll send me some products so that way I can do videos for you guys, but not everybody's willing to do that, and that's okay. So like I said, over my career, I've been purchasing a lot of stuff anyway. So hopefully that gives you guys some ideas. Hopefully that gives you a little oversight and a little bit more information on maybe what's gonna be best for you and what would work best for you. If you have any questions, feel free to throw them down in the comments. Like and subscribe on the video. We'll really appreciate it. We are